Welcome in to another edition of the old North State Sports Show, folks. No microphone today. We got the AirPods, and as you can see right here, the Vegas sphere. I was never meant to be a meteorologist, if you can't tell, spinning around right there. Man, it was a busy day yesterday, which is part of the reason why I did not get an episode out. I left Wilmington. Well, I guess I woke up in Wilmington around 3:50, and then the flight was at 5, went to Charlotte, then finally got out to Vegas for a conference. So we're here. And yesterday was just a long day, man. I think I fell asleep at 8 our time here out west. I was exhausted. So, anyways, it is now 5 in the morning because that's normal-ish time for me on the East Coast. And we're back to record and give you guys an update on the state of the Panthers, everything that went down yesterday. And it was a busy day. I ended up getting Wi-Fi on the flight for about an hour just so I could listen in. Of course, X was down, but at least for a portion of it, listened to WFNZ because I knew those guys would have the latest and greatest. But let's get started. Now, if you've missed the previous content, we'll get you squared away here. Austin Corbett coming back. We already knew that. Cade Mays, Tommy Trimble, Brian Ray. Those are your four. We kicked off the news yesterday with the announcement of Jaycee Horn's extension. Big news for the Carolina Panthers. I'm excited. I know there's probably a portion or pocket of the fan base that doesn't want him to be paid, thought he was overpaid. I understand. I will tell you, this deal that he just got is going to look much better in a few years when these additional quarterbacks come through the market. So 4-year extension worth $100 million, $70 million guaranteed. He's the highest paid defensive back right now. But I think I saw another tweet come through at some point, and I don't remember when, that maybe there's another defensive back that got paid. There was so much flowing through yesterday. Panthers have one of their defensive foundational pieces locked up until 2029, and they get ahead of the market signing. Exactly what I said. Of course, we know the risk downside to this is Horn's injury, but you know what? He played pretty much all of last year. I think he sat out at the end primarily because we were out of contention. So, you don't want to risk him getting hurt. That was the bang that started the day, and then we started to hear rumors because, again, things happen. Typically, it should start at 12, but you start to see these things come in minutes after. It's unreal. So I think the biggest news outside of Jaycee Horn has to be Milton Williams. What a disappointing day for the Carolina Panthers. So one, when you look at the entirety of everything, I think Dan Morgan did as good of a job as he could. I'm not concerned that we didn't land this, but it does stink because it feels like the Panthers were again used as a pawn to get a better contract, to get more money from New England. The Panthers were in the race. So if you guys followed it, probably did. News was coming in that the Panthers are going to sign Milton Williams. Everyone was going crazy about what that defensive front was going to look like. And then, we start to hear, well, actually, it's not official. But, you had tons of sources reporting this. Everyone was jumping on it. That's the problem with this whole thing. As soon as there's a sniff of something going to happen, people tweet it, and it takes off. And, it's not just local beat reporters and writers. It's everyone. Everyone reporting, saying, hey, this is going to happen. The Adam Schefters, Diana Rossini, all these folks. So Panthers fans are pumped. I was too. It was like, oh, this is going to be fantastic. And then shortly after, we're like, no, it's not a done deal. He's still talking. It's still exploring. Turns out it's the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots gave him so much more money. And to be honest, maybe they overpaid in this situation. I'm fine that we didn't match it or spend as much, but it does sting, man, because you can only go back and wonder, what could have been if he was able to be here. Now, I'm going to bounce around. I was trying to do these in the order that they came through. I'll at least do it because I I checked out. I was busy in the afternoon, so I don't know the actual order for the remainder of these, but I know after that came through, the Panthers announced Trayvon, confirmed that I'm saying his name right, folks. It's early. I'm traveling, haven't had a chance to dive in. So the former Raiders safety agreed to a 3-year, $51 million contract with Carolina Panthers. Of course, is going to likely replace Xavier Woods. We know Damani Richardson is still on the team. Panthers still need to get an additional safety. He who was allowed to become a free agent. And speaking of free agents, Lonnie Johnson is going to the Raiders, who was here. He should help a defense that was ranked last in the NFL against the run. Yes. Ranked second on the Raiders with 104 tackles last season to go with his 5 tackles for loss, a sack, and 2 interceptions. And he is only 25. Woods is going to be 30 heading into next season. He was considered one of the best free agent safeties, no big risk for a player, to make the defense younger. It's important to get younger, and that was kind of the theme. Younger guys, longer contracts. Is it going to pan out? We'll see. And we'll be back to break down all the contracts, to break down like the state of the roster, the depth chart. Folks, I'm traveling, so I'm very limited on what I can do. But positive news there. Now I am, again, because I just don't know the order. We'll start with Bobby Brown III. So you don't get Milton, but you do get a true defensive tackle. So the former Ram going to Carolina on a 3-year, $21 million contract. Not a bad bounce back again after you don't land on Milton Williams. Brown is an ideal nose tackle in the 3-4 scheme. He's 6'4", 328 pounds. Clog up the middle, stop the run, and a huge need for a unit that was ranked last in the run defense. Again, young, 24 years old. He's not considered a pass rusher, but that's fine. You clog the middle, do what you're supposed to do to stop the run, help the guys on the outside get to the quarterback, and that's perfect. That's all you can ask for. Now, the question that's been floated is, well, when is Shai Tuttle going to get cut? And I saw Mike Kay of the Charlotte Observer reporting out. Doesn't sound like that's going to happen. Shai Tuttle may still be here. I think with the restructure is the last news I saw. Y'all going to have to keep me honest. It's just been a wild time for me personally. It's exhausting. But I do believe he's going to be back. So we'll see what that restructure looks like. I don't know if it's an extension or if it's just a lower on the cap hit. And we know Miles Sanders is also, his name's out there. So we'll find out. Pat Jones II, a linebacker. So the former Viking, another Viking, contracts with Carolina for 2 years, $20 million. Jones gives the Panthers a situational edge rusher blend with Clowney and Wonum. Explosives off the ball. Again, we didn't have that last year. He had 7 sacks in 2024. Only made 1 start. That's wild. That many sacks in 1 start. So definitely a rotational piece. He's 26, coming into his own, and could be a bargain considering Josh Sweat got 4 years, $76 million with Arizona, although I'd probably take Josh Sweat, but we'll see. He only had 1 sack in 23 and 4 combined in his 2 seasons prior to that. He's not a truly proven product, but I think it's good. And we saw what DJ Wonum was able to do, like, once healthy. Mike Jackson back. Cornerback Mike Jackson back in Carolina. I saw someone, and I wish I remembered the guy's name, that tweeted that once free agency opened, Mike Jackson told all the other teams to beat it. Pun intended. That was hilarious for me, at least. So secondary is back, and he's got a 2-year, $14.5 million. So you have Jaycee Horn, Mike Jackson. I'm a fan of it. You are putting a team in place that really is going to allow you to draft the best available player. So if the Carolina Panthers are going to do it, I guess we're going to find out. It's a busy time, man. Extremely busy time of year. But still trying to figure out, are we going to get a wide receiver? Because the wide receiver market certainly has shriveled up. No doubt about that. So then the other big signing is Tershawn Wharton, defensive tackle, coming over the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, young. 3 years, $54 million. Wharton will likely fill in spot for Milton Williams. in addition to the rotational piece that we had over here. Opposite side of Derrick Brown should line up a defensive end in Carolina's 3-4 scheme, play opposite of Brown, like I said. And so you're going to have a really nice rotation. A'Shawn Robinson also in the mix. So I'm excited to see what the Panthers are going to be able to do on the defensive side of the ball. That was a clear need for this team. And just for my own sanity, I'm making sure that I've gotten everything checked off. Austin Corbett, Tommy Tremble, Bobby Brown III, Pat Jones, Trayvon Moehrig, Jaycee Horn, Mike Jackson, Tershawn Wharton. I believe that does it. And I mean, while we're here, I might as well check social media to make sure there was no additional Panthers news that came through early this morning. Never know what happens. We'll check right now. I don't see anything. And you know what? Episode's kind of getting there. So, anyways, that is going to do it for today's episode. We will be back to break down everything once I'm back. And you know what? I just recorded this whole episode with March Madness, but you know what? This is still March Madness. So it's March Madness in the state of football. All right, folks, y'all have a good one.